Hey there, and welcome to our latest episode of What's on the Horizon. I'm Lori Scharenbroich here with Chris Schucker of Digital Horizons. And today I want to talk about Sonos. And so how does a Sonos Port or a Sonos Amp work?
So the two devices actually perform a very similar function.
Okay.
At the baseline, a port and an amplifier are they generate an audio source for the larger Sonos system.
Okay.
The difference is that a port can't connect to speakers directly. It needs to be able to connect to an amplifier.
Okay.
The amp, as you might think correctly, has the port functionality built in, but it also has an amplifier in it as well. So if you have one or two pairs of speakers, you can connect them directly to the Sonos amp and they'll work great.
Okay.
The limitation is a couple of limitations to each one of them. An amp can only hook up to one or two pairs of speakers.
Okay.
A port can feed an amplifier that can feed countless speakers, but you need a standalone amplifier in order to do that. When we install audio systems, while I love the Sonos Amp, our preferred configuration is actually to use Sonos Ports, which actually cost a little bit less. I think at the time of we're recording this, they're about $250 less per device. So it's not a small amount of money.
No.
We prefer using the number of ports needed for the amount of areas of speakers there are in a home.
Okay.
So, for example, if you have speakers in the kitchen and the dining room and the living room and the porch, that would be 4 areas of speakers.
Okay.
And so then you would need, if you want them all to have the ability to have different music playing, you would need 4 ports and then an amplifier with at least 4 zones of amplification.
Okay.
And the reason we like doing that is we've always loved Sonos for most of what they make. They haven't had too many misses. And what we like the least about Sonos, which is not me criticizing Sonos, we just have a very particular ear.
Sure.
We prefer to use other people's amplifiers. So by using the Sonos Port, we get what we really like about Sonos, which is the user interface and the app and everything that goes with it. And then we get to pick a better quality amplifier or amplifiers. And then, of course, we're pairing appropriate speakers to go along with it. And we feel that those two things, where we use a Sonos Port and amplifier and speakers, we pair those together. We feel that's the best result. With that said, we use amplifiers with speakers, the Sonos amps with speakers all the time as a standalone solution. You know, we'll install systems where the client only has 1 or 2 pairs of speakers in the house, and it's not cost effective to go the port route because your typical house audio amplifier comes in configurations that are usually like 4 or 6 pairs of speakers. And so if you only have 1, 2, or maybe 3 pairs of speakers in a house, you might be using only half of the amplifier, and it's a little overkill. But yeah, there's kind of a place for either of them, and that's generally how they work.
Cool. It sounds kind of complicated. I thought I was going to get a complicated answer, but you made it actually sound really simple, actually. Good. Sounds like there's some math in it.
A little bit of math.
A little bit of math. A little bit of math. I'm sure you're pretty good at that. So thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for some additional conversations about Sonos and why he likes it so much. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you next episode.